Mom and Dad pastored 7th Avenue for 5 years and contributed to the church growth with the birth of their first and second children, Susan, known as Sulaine, and myself, Paul Jr., known as Danny. Dad was asked by the state overseer to complete the Bessemer City Church construction project in 1966. When that was completed, they went to Raleigh for 3 years and returned to 7th Avenue in 1968 for a homecoming service. The homecoming service sparked the desire to take on a building project for the church, so they returned with their Raleigh baby Pattie to add to the growing children's department, and in 1969 added yet one more son, Ray Carlton. In 1970, Dad discovered the property that is now home to Union Road Church of God.
There was that sign for sale. It was laying down in the gully. I called the people who had it listed, and they wanted $20,000 for this 10 acres. And I brought the council in to look at it. They voted to get it and give the $20,000. And also the state overseer came out and looked at it and said, buy it. And so I went back to tell them that I was going to take it, but I said, I'll give you $18,000 for it. They said, okay. Now this year used the King of England. This was tied up in that. They see, when King of England, back when they came over and established America, gave this family over here everything from about the middle where Union Road is, not Union Road, but Garrison, all the way down to South Carolina. They granted them, their family, all that land. And that's the reason. Had 18 people sign off for it.
A building permit was issued in January of 1971 for the first sanctuary and Sunday school wing, and Mom and Dad added their last child, Sammy, to the attendance record that same year. The church was growing so fast that by December 1974, construction for the second sanctuary was completed.
The greatest challenge for growing and paying for a church in Gaston County was knowing what time the shift changes were for each of the local textile mills. The secret was getting willing workers of the church involved.
The term willing workers was not reserved just for the women's ministry, but for anyone who could sell a box of donuts. Ray Jr. said that they would be standing on the corner waiting for Paul to come by and pick them up, and he'd ask them if they had sold all their donuts, and if they said no, he just went right on.
One time somebody asked me what my dad did for a living, and I said he sells donuts.
A lot of people said they found their donuts and the box was only 11.
This little boy was on the back of every church bulletin and represents just how important everyone was to the success of the church. Dad told me once that for every person involved in a church leadership role, they brought 10 people with them.
If I can fill your shoes with you.
In 1976, Dad left Union Road Church of God and filled several state and pastoral positions before returning back to Union Road in 1987.
In the years between 1987 and 1998, over 200 people were added to the church membership, and the new sanctuary was built.
The best part about pastoring people is seeing souls won to the Lord and watching families grow and developing the talents of others to continue in the ministry. You could count on 3 revivals a year that always added new members to the role and often gave a new evangelist his start.
Please stand if you are one of the many children or workers pictured in this Vacation Bible School group photo. And thank you for your dedication to the church and for support of my parents over their 24 years of ministry at the Union Road Church of God.